you! If you're here, you're probably considering going to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. Great choice. Let's talk about everything: tickets, express passes, RIP tours, and Unmasking the Horror Tours. My name is Stacy and I make travel videos, obviously videos about theme parks because we're obsessed with Universal Studios. So if that interests you, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because I'm creating an entire series. I've got a lot more videos coming about HHN. If you haven't watched my HHN beginner guide, I would really suggest you watch that video first, and that'll help give you a good intro about what HHN is, what you're going to get for the price of your ticket, and some of my pro tips for when you visit. This video here is going to talk more about tickets, express passes, RIP tours, and Unmasking the Horror Tours. So let's get into it. Okay, first let's talk about what kind of ticket you're going to want. They do sell both single night tickets and multi-night passes, but it kind of depends how many nights you're going to be going during the season and then what nights of the week you're going to be going. A lot of times Jeff and I are going at the very end of the season and we want to knock in about 4 or 5 nights of Halloween Horror Nights, so we get the frequent fear pass because that includes the nights at the end of the season that we're wanting to go to, and it gives us enough number of nights that way we're not having to pay separately. If you already bought single night tickets and you've decided you want to go multi-nights and the multi-night pass would actually save you some money, definitely get with Universal Studios customer service. I've never had a problem with them helping me convert single night tickets over to a multi-night pass. Okay, so let's break down the different multi-night passes that you can get. The first pass is called Rush of Fear Pass. Guests are able to visit every night of Halloween Horror Nights the first 3 weeks of the event. Then you have the pass that we typically get, which is the Frequent Fear Pass. Guests are able to visit every Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, plus the first 2 days, which would be Friday and Saturday, and the last Friday of the event. So this is where the event calendar really comes in handy. I'm going to put it on the screen now, but I'm also going to put a link to it in the description below. But using this HHN event calendar will help you kind of determine, okay, what nights do we want to go and where in the season are we going to be visiting? So the Frequent Fear Plus Pass is just like the Frequent Fear Pass that I just described, but you also get to add in all the Friday nights that weren't included on the Frequent Fear Pass. Then you have the Big Mamma Jamma, the ultimate Frequent Fear Pass. These are more pricey, but you get into the event every single night during the HHN season. Florida residents do get special pricing on tickets to the park, so definitely check the website and make sure you're toggled at the top where it asks if you're a Florida resident or not. So definitely check out the event calendar, figure out what nights of the week you're going to be going during your trip and when your trip falls during the HHN season, and that will help you kind of better understand which pass would be best for you.
If you find this video helpful and are able to support my work, consider joining my Patreon or YouTube channel membership. Members get early access to videos and other perks. If a membership isn't your thing, show your support with a one-time donation using the Super Thanks button or the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description. As always, free ways to support the channel include becoming a subscriber and hitting that like button. Thank you so much for your support, and let's get back to the video.
Okay, you got your tickets for HHN. Now let's talk about express passes. First and foremost, express passes that you have for rides during the daytime do not work during these special events like HHN. So if you have a ride pass that maybe you got included with your on-campus hotel, or maybe you bought it separately, if it's for the daytime, you can't use it at night. You can't use it to get into the houses, and you can't use it on the rides during this event. I know, it's really sad. It makes me sad. The HHN Express Pass allows the holder to bypass a large chunk of these long lines into the haunted houses. It doesn't mean that you get bumped to the absolute front of the line, but it does cut down a lot of the wait time. I would say by half or maybe 75%. When lines can be upwards of 2 to 3 hour waits, this can dramatically reduce wait times, ensuring entrance to most houses pretty quickly. Express passes are purchased on top of your ticket or your pass to HHN, and they allow you one entry into the attraction once per night. You can definitely go through the houses more than once, but if you use your express pass for that night, for that house, You can't use the Express Pass for that night, for that house in the same night. Does that make sense? Express passes for HHN did allow us not only to get into the house once, but also onto the rides that are open once. So check that out if you want to maximize your time getting into all these houses. Do you want to be escorted to the front door of each house without waiting in any line at all? Then I think you want to buy one of the VIP or RIP tour packages. This is different than the HHN Express Pass because while the Express Pass does greatly reduce the length of lines, it doesn't turn a haunted house line into a walk-on attraction. The RIP or VIP walking tours does. You have a tour guide that takes you around the park. You also get a meal at the La Bamba Cafe, and then they give you free non-alcoholic drinks, but if you want alcoholic drinks, you do have your own bar, so again, you don't have to wait in lines for that, but they do cost extra. We did this last year and we're going to do it again this year because it really felt like we were part of this really cool special group. And I think one thing that makes the price absolutely worth it with me, not only did we get to go through every single house in one night, we got done with every single house within a few hours. I really loved how our tour guide gave us a little bit more of an in-depth storyline before we went into each house. And I think that helps you appreciate the story before you go in. So if you only have one night at HHN, think about doing the RIP tour. They do have private RIP tours that maybe just you and your group of friends can do. They are a lot more pricey.
It's gonna cost you.
And subject to availability. So I'm gonna put a link for that in the description below. One thing I did talk about in my beginner video for HHN was maybe trying an Unmasking the Horror Tour. Now you can do this whether maybe you're kind of scared to go through the haunted houses like I was, or if you're just really interested in seeing all the intricate details of these haunted houses with the lights on. You can do either a 3 or 6 house tour, and a lot of times they do take you through at least 1 or 2 of the big houses that year. Again, your tour guide does give you a lot of kind of behind the scenes information about these houses, but I felt one, it helped me not be so scared for going to the event later that night, because again, we're not horror movie people, we're not haunted house people, and yet this is one of our most favorite events to go to. But it helped take the edge off when it was time to go through the houses full force at nighttime. But there again, you also get to see a lot of the intricate details that you're probably going to miss going through the haunted house at nighttime because the lights are off and people are scaring you and you're not really paying attention to all these little details. Theme park tickets and HHN tickets are not included with the Unmasking the Horror Tour, but they're also not required to take this tour. So maybe you just want to take the tour on its own. You don't want to go to the park that day. You don't want to go to HHN that day. That's okay. You can just do the Unmasking the Horror Tour and you can do it all by itself. With the Unmasking the Horror Tour and the RIP Tour, daytime park tickets and HHN event tickets are not included with the price of that ticket. They still need to be purchased on top of taking the tour. Let me know if you have any questions about tickets, express passes, RIP tours, Unmasking the Horror Tours. I've got some other videos in this series that I want you to watch. Again, the beginner video is going to be over here, and then I'm going to have a pro tips video. As soon as I get that posted, you're gonna find it right here.